See, people, first of all, they say in Hollywood, like that's a place. We're in the movie business, and we live in Los Angeles. But I'm not in Hollywood. I don't have anything. I don't know what that really means.
It's coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
If those films, I mean, we're talking about Tyler Perry at this point.
Punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell.
I don't think Spike's done. He's still got, stuff to do, and it was awesome to say Spike Lee.
Ever wonder why Tyler Perry might be shaking in his boots around Hollywood legends like Denzel Washington and Samuel L. Jackson? Well, hold on, because the plot thickens. While Denzel and Sam are out here breaking barriers and lifting up the next generation of black talent, Tyler's got people talking, for all the wrong reasons.
I'm not a Tyler Perry fan, so this is what I got to say. It's funny how he got all this money to do everything but the right thing.
See, while Denzel's mentoring, directing, and helping black actors climb the Hollywood ladder, and Samuel's putting his weight behind opening doors for fresh faces, critics say Tyler's approach seems to fall flat.
Had I not recorded Tyler Perry, then it would have been my word against his. And then on top of that, it would have been, he's so powerful, we can't even pay no attention to that.
Sure, his movies rake in millions, but the question buzzing through Hollywood is, at what cost? Many of Tyler Perry's movies are notorious for showcasing black characters in stereotypical, sometimes downright degrading roles.
To be like this, Lord. Honey, I got to bring y'all down.
He's built an empire on those slapstick Medea moments, but according to a growing number of critics, that's exactly the problem. Actors who star in his films rarely see their careers take off the way we've seen from Denzel and Sam's protégés. For example, you can see how far Denzel Washington's protégé, Chadwick Boseman, went.
I know you have also inspired and motivated others. An offering from a sage and a king is more than silver and gold.
They accuse Perry of using those same demeaning tropes to get laughs and ratings, leaving the actors stuck in those narrow boxes. Oh, and it's not just the public noticing. Multiple artists, big names like Spike Lee, have thrown some serious shade at Perry's work. Spike once called it coonery and buffoonery, claiming Perry's content does more harm than good by perpetuating negative black stereotypes. Others argue that instead of showcasing the diverse and powerful stories black actors can tell, Perry keeps them playing one-dimensional characters that don't show the full range of their talent. So could this be why Tyler Perry might be a little uneasy when Denzel and Samuel walk into the room? I mean, seeing how he reacted to Spike Lee, that really won't be far-fetched, you know?
Punch the hell out of you. Say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell.
They're not just big names, they're powerhouses lifting black talent into the spotlight. Meanwhile, Tyler's critics are wondering if he's doing the opposite, keeping them in the shadows of his Medea wig. So let's get into it. Recent revelations from none other than Samuel L. Jackson have set the rumor mill spinning. Apparently, Jackson has been dropping some bombshells about Tyler Perry's shady ways behind the camera. According to Jackson, Perry has a habit of consistently typecasting black actors into those stereotypical, over-the-top roles, which not only limits their growth, but could be a major factor in why some careers never fully take off, or worse, spiral into controversy. Now, if anyone knows the ins and outs of Hollywood's treatment of black talent, it's Jackson, who's been in the game for decades.
This is like saying that, I've done what I set out to do, which was be a great entertainer, get people to come to the movies, have a good time.
And let's not forget the known feud between Spike Lee and Tyler Perry. That rivalry's been brewing for years, with Spike being one of the loudest voices calling out Perry for promoting coonery in his films. But what really makes this juicy is Samuel L. Jackson's own complicated history with Spike. Despite the fact that Lee gave Jackson one of his big breaks, their relationship hit a rough patch during the filming of Malcolm X. Apparently, there was a fallout over money. Jackson wanted a higher salary for the role, but Lee wasn't having it.
And I didn't do Malcolm X and some of the others. But Spike and I have this great relationship. He actually directs all the Capital One commercials too.
Even with their personal beef, Jackson's warning to Tyler Perry might just be something worth noting. These three, Jackson, Lee, and Denzel Washington, are practically Hollywood royalty at this point. They've worked together, had their ups and downs, and exposed the ugly truth about how black actors are often treated in the industry. So if Jackson and Denzel are out here hinting that Perry's practices are a problem, you can bet they are speaking from a place of deep industry knowledge. Perry, despite his massive success, keeps catching heat for allegedly boxing black actors into limiting roles roles, while legends like Denzel and Samuel are known for pushing the envelope and elevating their peers. And it's not just Jackson taking shots. Spike Lee's been on Perry's case for years, criticizing his films for being stuck in the mud of stereotypes and cliches that do more harm than good. So when Jackson points out Perry's part in all this, it feels less like gossip and more like the inside scoop from someone who's been navigating these waters for decades. If there's anyone Tyler Perry should be afraid of, it's probably these three. They've seen it all, they've exposed the truth, and they've got receipts. And let's be real, Denzel and Sam are out here helping black actors rise, while Perry's critics claim he's keeping them in the same old tired roles. It's no wonder tensions are high. Tyler Perry's personal story, honestly, it's wild. The guy literally went from being homeless to becoming a multi-millionaire who owns his own private jet and runs one of the biggest movie studios in the country. It's like a real-life rags to riches movie. You gotta give him credit. He built an empire from nothing, and now he's living the kind of life most people can only dream of.
I'm holding so tight, my hands are bloody as it's hitting me. It took me so long to understand what happened.
Honestly, Tyler Perry's life story could totally be his best movie yet. I mean, going from homeless to Hollywood powerhouse? That's the kind of inspirational tale people would eat up. But instead of giving us that, what do we get? The same old formula. Perry in a wig, wearing a dress, playing Medea, or some other character with the same chaotic energy. It's no wonder big-name directors like Spike Lee have been super vocal about their criticism. I mean, Spike's been calling Perry out for years, saying his films just keep recycling those tired stereotypes.
Man has a huge audience, and Tyler's very smart. We know what he's done. He started out, with these plays, and church buses would pull up, bought his own jet. But at the same time, for me, just imagery is trouble.
It's definitely worth pointing out that Spike Lee is super tight with Hollywood heavyweights like Wesley Snipes, Denzel Washington, and Samuel L. Jackson. So when Spike speaks up, trust me, people listen. His words hold a lot of weight in the industry, especially when it comes to talking about representation and quality in black cinema. Spike isn't just some random critic, he's a legend with A-list connections and a career that's elevated black stories for decades. So when he's throwing shade at Perry's films, it's not just chatter, it's a real conversation starter in Hollywood.
Hello, I'm Wesley Snipes. I want to talk about my friend Spike Lee.
It's no secret that Spike Lee and Tyler Perry haven't exactly been buddy-buddy over the years. Even though they're both major players in black cinema, their approaches have been worlds apart, and they've had more than a few public disagreements. While both have been huge in putting black culture on the big screen, their visions couldn't be more different. The tension really hit the public radar around 2009 when Spike Lee, who's never shy about speaking his mind, took aim at Perry's work. Spike didn't hold back, calling out Perry's films and TV shows for what he called coonery and buffoonery. He basically accused Perry of reinforcing negative stereotypes about the black community. And let's just say it didn't go unnoticed.
It's coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
Spike Lee definitely didn't hold back during that Black Enterprise interview. He straight up compared Tyler Perry's content to the old school, stereotypical depictions you'd find on what he called the idiot box, a brutal jab not just at Perry but at TV in general. Spike wasn't pulling any punches there. He was clearly fed up with the kind of comedy and characters Perry was putting out, and that comparison was his way of saying Perry's work was no better than the outdated, damaging portrayals of black people from decades past.
On us, you vote with your pocketbook, your wallet, you vote with your time, sit in front of the idiot box.
Definitely didn't hold back during that Black Enterprise interview. He straight up compared Tyler Perry's content to the old school, stereotypical depictions you'd find on what he called the idiot box, a brutal jab not just at Perry but at TV in general. Spike wasn't pulling any punches there. He was clearly fed up with the kind of comedy and characters Perry was putting out, and that comparison was his way of saying Perry's work was no better than the outdated, damaging portrayals of black people from decades past. Spike Lee definitely acknowledged that Tyler Perry is smart. He's no fool when it comes to knowing how to pull in an audience. Let's be real, Perry has a huge fan base, and the guy knows how to churn out content that people genuinely enjoy. He's built an empire, and there's no denying his business savvy. But Spike wasn't exactly clapping for that. He wasn't thrilled with the image Perry's movies and shows were putting out there. In fact, he basically accused Perry of pandering to whatever would get the best ratings, even if it meant leaning into harmful stereotypes.
And I know it's making a lot of money, breaking records, but we could do better.
And honestly, a lot of people think Spike might have a point. Tyler Perry's brand of comedy often relies on simplistic, stereotypical portrayals that, while funny to some, don't always sit well with everyone. Sure, Perry argues that he's creating jobs for black actors and making serious money in the process, but critics aren't convinced that's a good enough reason to keep pushing those types of images. It's like saying just because a dealer or heroin dealer is making money and keeping some cash flowing in the community, that somehow justifies the damage they're doing. Spike Lee, on the other hand, has always been about telling stories that celebrate black culture without falling into those tired, negative stereotypes. His films might not always be blockbuster hits, but Spike takes serious pride in the narratives he creates. For him, it's about showing love and respect to the black community through his art, and that's something he's never willing to compromise on, even if it means making less money at the box office.
A lot of this is on us. You know, you vote with your pocketbook, your wallet, you vote with your time sitting in front of the idiot box.
But Tyler Perry didn't just sit back and take Spike's criticism. Oh no, he fired back hard. It all went down in 2009 during an interview on 60 Minutes when they brought up Spike Lee's criticisms of Perry's work. And let me tell you, Perry did not hold back. He was clearly fed up with hearing Spike's name tossed around every time his movies got mentioned. In fact, Perry went so far as to say that Spike could go straight to hell. Yeah, he dropped that line on national TV.
The hell out of you, say something else.
That is my answer to Spike Lee. Go to hell.
Perry wasn't in the mood for any of Spike's critiques, especially the ones about coonery and buffoonery. He was basically telling Spike to mind his own business and stop taking shots at him, and other big names like Oprah and Clint Eastwood. Perry made it clear he wasn't about to let Spike's criticism slide. "I'm so sick of hearing about damn Spike Lee," Perry said, as reported by Box Office magazine. "Spike can go straight to hell. You can print that. I am sick of him talking about me. I am sick of him saying, this is a coon. This is a buffoon. I am sick of him talking about black people going to see movies. This is what he said. You vote by what you see, as if black people don't know what they want to see. I am sick of him. He talked about Whoopi. He talked about Oprah. He talked about me. He talked about Clint Eastwood. Spike needs to shut the hell up." Even though Tyler Perry hit back at Spike in a big way, a lot of fans weren't buying his response. They started pointing out some real issues with Perry's movies, like the way they often lean on overly stereotypical portrayals of black families and culture. Then there are the overly dramatic films where black men and women are shown as weak, evil, or just plain problematic. And let's not forget the behind-the-scenes rumors about a toxic work environment, forced religious practices, and whispers about Perry's stance on LGBTQ+ issues. People have also noticed that in many of his films, dark-skinned black male actors are frequently cast as the villains.
I'm not a Tyler Perry fan, so this is what I got to say. It's funny how he got all this money to do everything but the right thing. And this lets me know that he's scared of white people.
The woman asserted that Tyler Perry harbors a fear of white people, which she believed was influencing his creative choices and decisions. Her comments garnered support from others who also shared their thoughts about Tyler Perry and his work.
And they said they loved the script, but they wasn't sure how the film was going to turn out, so they passed.
These videos imply that there might be a hidden truth beneath the surface. The question arises, what could be Tyler Perry's secret that has led some dark-skinned actors to decline working with him? Tyler Perry's approach to casting and character portrayal has become noticeable to viewers, leading to discussions about his business strategy. Some individuals argue that Perry tends to cast dark-skinned actors in villainous roles while portraying white-skinned individuals as heroes in his movies and shows. This perception has generated discussion and debate within his audience.
Pitiful black woman being by a no-good, dark-skinned man, and then saved and rescued by the perfect light-skinned man.
During an event, Chris Rock took a playful jab at Tyler Perry's movies, pointing out how they often portray dark-skinned boyfriends in a less than flattering light. He backed this up by referencing Tupac Shakur, suggesting that Perry's films could use a bit more variety when it comes to character representation. Rock joked, Tupac might be a political leader if he was alive. But then again, Tupac might be in a Tyler Perry movie right now, so you don't know. He might beat Tupac Rock might be the bad dark-skinned boyfriend in the Tyler Perry movie. Rock's point was that while Tupac was a legendary rapper, if he ended up in a Tyler Perry film, it's unlikely he'd be cast as the hero, given Perry's usual casting patterns. He added, "I'd hope he's a senator, but he might be kicking Jill Scott down a flight of stairs." In Tyler Perry movies, there's always, okay. Chris Rock's comments echoed Spike Lee's past critiques, both of them calling out how Perry's storytelling and casting choices might limit the range of representation in black films. They raised concerns about how this type of ideology could affect the film industry as a whole.
Are we going back to Mantan Moreland and sleep and eat?
Yet, if those films, and I mean, we're talking about Tyler Perry.
When you dig into the entertainment industry, it's clear that colorism is a real issue here. Recently, Hollywood has been under fire, with media campaigns and hashtags blowing up on Twitter and making their way to TV news. One of the first big names to shine a spotlight on the industry's darker side was Harvey Weinstein. In 2017, he was hit with a flood of allegations, which brought a lot of the industry's shady practices into the open.
There's a new documentary that is all about the dark side of Hollywood and how some power players allegedly use their positions to prey on young aspiring actors.
After the #MeToo movement gained momentum, Hollywood was hit with a series of scandals. One of the notable incidents was comedian Kevin Hart stepping down as the Oscars host in 2019 after old homophobic tweets resurfaced. The #Oscars So White campaign also made headlines, calling for more diversity and better recognition of people of color and marginalized communities in the Oscars. With all these issues, Hollywood's reputation has taken a serious hit, making the once glamorous Walk of Fame seem more like a walk of shame these days.
Kevin Hart has stepped down from hosting this year's Oscars. He put out a statement on Twitter tonight saying, "I have made the choice to step down."
On a February afternoon in the 1940s, actress Hattie McDaniel made history by winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Gone with the Wind. She was the first African American to receive this prestigious award, marking a significant milestone in cinema history. However, her achievement was overshadowed by the harsh reality of segregation. At the Oscars ceremony, which was essentially a whites-only event, McDaniel was forced to celebrate her victory in isolation from the other attendees. Instead of being a joyous occasion, the event was marred by the stark contrast of racial segregation.
I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. My heart is too full to tell you just how I feel.
80 years later, the film industry still grapples with a form of routine discrimination, despite some progress in increasing diversity. The 2020 Oscars ceremony was marred by racial controversies that have become all too common for both viewers and industry participants. Major snubs, such as the omission of Lupita Nyong'o for her outstanding performance in the 2019 film Us, exemplify this issue.
And the Oscar goes to Lupita Nyong'o.
And now it is in the form of movies and shows in which Tyler Perry is one of the major examples. And this is not hidden now, as we have seen in his movies that black-skinned actors are always villains in his movies. One major example is Steve Harris, who played Charles McCarter in Tyler's one of the most classic movies, Diary of the Black Mad Woman. He was a successful lawyer, but far from being an ideal husband. Shockingly, Charles discloses to his wife Helen the existence of another woman in his life and proceeds to treat her rudely, eventually kicking her out of their home.
You don't see it?
No.
You ain't good for nothing.
Blair Underwood portrayed the character Carlos in one of his movies. Carlos is depicted as a controlling investment banker who exercises dominance and control over his girlfriend in the film. Blair Underwood, known for his role in LA Law, has been a prominent figure in Hollywood for over 4 decades. His career began in the 1980s, and he has seen different phases as a black actor in the industry. Underwood recently shared insights into his early career and his encounter with Oscar-winning actor Sidney Poitier.
And of course, this is what the kids are now calling a blastic movie. Black classic movie. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? They're so
I heard that. I like
innovative.
that. A blastic movie.
A blastic.
Okay.
During the 1980s, the representation of black faces on screen was rare, and the roles available were often limited and stereotypical, which didn't provide much variety for black TV viewers. Blair Underwood personally witnessed these challenges. He and Denzel Washington were seen as prime examples of black male representation on TV and in film during that era, receiving praise and recognition for their work.
At least 4 black women in the hood. And like, now we're gonna do girls in the hood, and there was a little pushback. Like, why they only want to see us as slaves or in the hood and Hollywood.
The challenges of limited and stereotypical roles for black actors seemed to persist into the 1990s. Blair Underwood recalled that during this period, virtually every black actor and actress in Hollywood, regardless of their name recognition or skill level, found themselves auditioning for the same roles, highlighting the lack of diverse opportunities in the industry.
I've been a history buff like most of my life. I love history.
You do?
I don't know a lot about history, but I love.
Philip Van Leer also got the chance to play a villain in Tyler's movies. He had a prominent recurring role in the first and second seasons of the show as a D dealer.
No. Harry, Brenda, Harry.
Hey.
Harry's a high school coach.
Ion Overman also appeared as a negative character in one of Tyler's movies named Medea Goes to Jail as Linda Davis. Linda in the movie, an envious assistant district attorney who is engaged to Joshua. She secretly engages in illegal activities such as fraud, evidence tampering, and providing false legal documents involving some of the people she has prosecuted. Ronrico Lee portrayed Chuck, an assistant district attorney and Joshua's friend in the film. Another actor, Brian White, was signed as a villain by Tyler Perry in his film I Can Do Bad All by Myself. He played the role of Randy, who is an boyfriend and the antagonist of the show.
The way you've been looking at me. See, this here my house, and I can let you and two little nappy boys stay here.
Right.
You might notice that in Tyler Perry's movies and shows, the negative characters often come across as very abusive towards women, which has been a point of concern for many viewers. For example, in his shows Brew and Sistas, this troubling trend is evident. Brew follows the lives of 4 black men as they navigate their relationships, friendships, and careers. While the show highlights their strong family-like bond and their close-knit camaraderie, the portrayal of negative characters and their treatment of women remains a significant issue that has sparked criticism. The contrast between the men's warm, happy exterior and the problematic behavior of other characters raises important questions about representation and the impact of such depictions.
She says she moving in. She seemed nervous. I'm a little confused. Wait. Okay, take it back.
On the other hand, Sistas centers around the lives of 4 single black women. The tagline "single but never solo" hints that the show will explore their experiences with the ups and downs of being single. Although the synopsis doesn't delve into their friendships or careers, the promotional image shows each woman separately rather than together. This suggests that the show might focus on their individual journeys in the dating world and their personal lives, highlighting their shared status as single women and how they navigate their unique challenges.
Look at me.
I'm looking.
Karen, I don't love you no more. I don't want to be with you no more.
Tyler Perry's movies like Acrimony often spark lively debates on social media platforms such as Twitter. Some critics argue that Perry tends to focus heavily on the trauma that black women endure from men, suggesting a pattern in his storytelling that can be troubling. On the other hand, supporters believe he's shining a light on real-life issues that resonate with many black women. These discussions underscore the powerful impact of Perry's films and their ability to stir conversations about significant and sometimes uncomfortable topics. One of the internet users said, "At first I watched Tyler Perry, then my mind started to change and see that his movies portrayed stereotype on BLK folks. All his movies were the same." Another one added, "Tyler Perry repackages trauma and sells it to the traumatized. Instead of getting actually counseling, they use his movies to cope." Over time, Hollywood has been a major force in perpetuating harmful stereotypes about black individuals, shaping the way many people view them. This led to a debate about how black artists, faced with limited opportunities in the entertainment industry, sometimes felt pressured to accept stereotypical roles just to make a living. Tyler Perry has come under scrutiny in this context, as some critics argue that his work may contribute to these stereotypes. The evidence and discussions surrounding Perry's films suggest that this issue is not in his favor, adding to the ongoing conversation about representation and the impact of such portrayals.